Hey y'all, Jay Nice on the mic, back with another video. So I don't even know what I want to title this video. I think I have an idea, but I want this to be like a more detailed and nuanced video. And as y'all may know, and as I've mentioned in the past, I'm very good at articulating my thoughts when I write them down. When I speak, I don't always convey myself in the best way, which is ironic because I do public speaking for a living. But I'm trying to get back more into recording my videos and getting back into the flow because I do miss YouTube. I miss doing like analyses of pop culture. So this video is actually going to be focused on blackfishing. And essentially, I wanted to record this video because first of all, I got to plug my book. So hold on one second. So for those of you who don't know, I wrote a book. It's actually a bestseller. It was an Amazon best-selling book. It's called The Pink Elephant. And the focus of this book is to help organizations understand how to foster racial equity. How do you create an anti-racist workplace? What does that look like? And in this book, I actually have in one of the chapters, I talk specifically about blackfishing. So yesterday, when the social media was posting about Nicki Minaj, and Nicki Minaj was defending, essentially, or making statements in praise of, and let me not say that. Yesterday, when Nicki Minaj did a live where she was talking about blackfishing, I felt like the conversation of blackfishing deserved a larger conversation. So I have to first say this is not like an attack on Nicki. I'm a Barb. I have loved Nicki since she came out, and I'm a huge fan of her music. But I think that what I'm learning as I get older is that it's really important to separate the musician or the artist from the art. And I can like you and your music and your artistry, but disagree with you as a person. And I think that that's actually healthy. We shouldn't all be so blinded by our like or love of our favorite artists and the people whose music we enjoy that they are above reproach and above critique. I love Nicki as much as the next person, but I do think that she opened up a important conversation about blackfishing. So what is blackfishing? I'm going to provide an example and pop it right here. So blackfishing in layman's terms is essentially people who are non-black altering their appearance so that they appear as if they are black or that they are multiracial or biracial. And essentially people blackfish so that they can capitalize off of the black aesthetic. I wrote an article about the erasure of black women that I will insert right here, and a link to the article is below. But I think that blackfishing and the erasure of black women kind of go hand in hand. So when we have a conversation about the times in history and throughout history and currently where black women's contributions have been erased, I think that one area where this happens a lot is the fashion and beauty industry. Kylie Jenner and Kim Kardashian built an entire empire off of the black aesthetic. What is really, really like mind-blowing to me is that people know that Kylie Jenner altered her lips. She's admitted that, multiple times. And the fact that people are going out and still buying her lip kits, knowing that she achieved her voluptuous lips through surgery and not through natural means, her lips, she didn't wake up and her lips were like that, is just mind-blowing. And so it speaks to this larger idea of how when there are traits that are on black women, they're not deemed as high value until you take those traits and put them on non-black women. So blackfishing, let's get back to blackfishing. So my issues with what Nicki Minaj said about blackfishing was that she made a statement in a live where she said that her as a black woman wearing blonde hair could be seen to some people as her trying to appear white, just as for a non-black person, them altering their appearance can be seen as them trying to be black. But essentially, people should be able to alter their appearance in ways that they want, as long as they're not hurting anyone. That's what Nicki Minaj said in the live. And I'll try to see if I could find a clip and post it and link it below, because I know that I can't really insert certain things, and I don't know all of the copyrights and stuff like that, and videos can get taken down. So I'll try to find it and insert it. So in full transparency, I did not watch the entire live that Nicki Minaj put out. So I want to first say that I only, like many people, saw the clips online. And Nicki Minaj actually responded to, I made a TikTok video, and I'll insert the TikTok video here. So I was hoping to provide a more detailed analysis of why blackfishing is so problematic. I don't know how long TikTok allows you to record videos, but I'll try to make this analysis very quickly. So I heard a statement that was made by Nicki Minaj where essentially she was saying that blackfishing shouldn't be a big deal because people should be allowed to do what they want with their bodies. And if it's not hurting anyone, it shouldn't really matter, is what she essentially said. And I think that we have to be more nuanced when we're talking about things like blackfishing. Blackfishing is used by non-black people to capitalize off of and gain clout off of the black aesthetic. Paul Mooney famously said, everybody want to be black, but don't nobody want to be black. People should not be able to try on blackness and put on blackness like a costume. We as black people, actual black people, don't get to take off our blackness. And so I think that we can't offer like surface level analyses of issues like blackfishing. Blackfishing is just another form of blackface. And we see this in every industry where people co-opt blackness for their own personal gain. And so I think that when we think about why blackfishing is so problematic, we have to think about how people are using. And so Nicki Minaj responded to my TikTok video, and this is what she said. So these were her comments, and I wanted to comment on her comments because I feel like her comments deserve, and I'm going to actually open up her comments right now. I feel like her comments deserve a larger conversation. So she said that I should stop putting words in her mouth and that I want attention. And I first have to say, I didn't create the video because I'm seeking attention. This is something that I wrote about. Blackfishing is something I wrote about. I didn't just wake up and decide that I want clout off of this topic. This is something I wrote about in my book. So I wanted to first make that statement. And I am a Nicki fan. So I'm not trying to, I'm not part of the Nicki hate train like she thinks, or like, anyone that critiques Nicki is labeled as someone who's hating on her. That's not what it is. But again, I want to go back to this idea that if you are a celebrity or a public figure, you should not be above reproach. We can engage in intelligent dialogue and discourse. And I think that that's actually healthy. We shouldn't be so obsessed with people that we can't critique them and call them out when they are wrong. So Nicki said that, she said, I can think of a couple celebrities right now who profited from black culture and they are not black and have said it, but people just love it. I don't know what that means, or I don't know what she meant by that. But she says, she then speaks about Jesse's group members. I don't know about that situation, and I'm not speaking about that situation. I'm speaking on what I know, and specifically blackfishing. The video that I made was about blackfishing and Nicki's statements about blackfishing. I don't know anything about Jesse, the group, any of that, so I have to be transparent. And so Nicki clarified and said, I actually said there's a difference between tanning, what all these white celebrities do, and actually pretending to be black. That is where you're wrong. There's not a difference. Anytime you're altering your appearance to make it look like you are more ethnic or you're mixed race, as a white person that is blackfishing, when you are trying to appear closer to the black aesthetic. Black women are known for our bodies and our facial features. And all of those things are co-opted to make money. We saw this again with Kylie Jenner and her lip kits, and the fact that her brand was so profitable, even though people knew that she is capitalizing off of the black aesthetic. And again, this video is not, I want to make a point that I'm not trying to degrade or denigrate any of the people that I'm mentioning in this video. And it's not about Kylie, it's not about Kim, it's not about really even Nicki. It's about a larger issue that is happening and that deserves attention. Another thing that Nicki said is, moral of the story, if you really cared about what I actually said, is that people are being selective in their outrage like always. So what Nicki was saying in her comments to me was that people are mad at Jessie because, my interpretation is, people are mad at Jessie, according to Nicki, because Jessie's doing a song with Nicki, and that people pick and choose when they want to be outraged. Again, I cannot speak to that situation, but I can assure you that black people and black Twitter and people who are black have been consistent in our outrage. We saw this when Ivy Park, when Beyonce's line featured the images of two European women who looked like they were blackfishing. There was a lot of backlash. We saw this when there are these European models, and I'll Google them and try to insert pictures here. There were these European models who had altered their images to look more black, and they were being posted by pro-black pages. We saw the outrage there. And people have written article after article after article about blackfishing. And I actually used one of the articles. There's a Teen Vogue article that I'll link below that was super insightful about blackfishing. And again, I wrote about blackfishing in my book. So when Nicki says people are selective in their outrage, I disagree with that. I think when it comes to blackfishing, many of us, I'm not a celebrity. We're not celebrities and public figures. The regular people, many of us have been consistent in our outrage about blackfishing. I don't care if it's Jessie from this group. I don't care whoever it is that is engaging in blackfishing. I have been consistent in calling out, and there's many of us who've been consistent in calling out folks who have done this. I've been consistent even on this YouTube channel, where I'll see if I can dig up some old videos and some old clips, but I've talked about this. I had a video from 2011 or 2012 where I talked about this.
I think it's so crazy how celebrities like Angelina Jolie, Jennifer Lopez, Kim Kardashian, the list goes on and on. But I think it's insane that Caucasian and non-black celebrities are praised for their traditionally black features. And I just think it's so crazy how features that are normal and typical amongst African Americans, when these same features are on Caucasians, it's beautiful.
I didn't have the language for blackfishing back then, but I talked about this in video. So I am not selective in my outrage, and I think it's important that we remove the individuals and look at the larger issue. Blackfishing is a systemic issue where non-black people are using the black aesthetic or trying on the black aesthetic and taking it off when they're tired of it. And I think a really great example of this was Miley Cyrus. If you all remember, she was heavily criticized. I know I made a video about when she went on the MTV VMA stage and she was twerking. And when she was making music with Mike Will Made It, and it seemed like she was trying on blackness, and she was she was immersing herself in black culture because it was profitable for her at the time. And then she came out and made statements against hip hop music and against black music, and I'll find the statements and insert it here. And I think that we see so many examples of this where non-black people ingratiate themselves in blackness, whether that's trying to achieve the black aesthetic, whether that's trying to latch on to Black culture so that you can profit and make money. And then when you get tired of it, you take Blackness off, you take it off, and you say, okay, you take it off like a coat. Black coating is essentially what I call it, where when it suits you and when you can make money off of Blackness and profit off of it, that's when you put it on. So I think that when we talk about Blackfishing, it's not just like an individual issue, but we have to think about it as a more systemic issue. If there are non-Black people profiting off of the Black aesthetic, making money, becoming influencers off of the Black aesthetic, where does that leave actual Black people, and more specifically Black women? And so that's a question that I think we have to be thinking about, is if you had a choice of choosing for a campaign, you were looking for people for a campaign, let's say a paid campaign, a paid influencer campaign, let's say, and you had the choice between an actual Black woman and a non-Black woman who's Blackfishing, in many of these situations, you see that non-Black women who are Blackfishing end up getting opportunities and access that Black women don't have and don't get because of and based on the presumption that they are Black. So when people ask, why do you care and why is it such a big issue? It's because the contributions of Black women are being erased. We see this in fashion. We see that things aren't deemed cool and fashionable when Black women are doing them or when Black women are wearing them. But when you take those things and put them on non-Black women, they're seen as cool and they're seen as trendy and they're seen as fashionable. So many examples of this. I don't think I need to go into detail about that. But so when we ask ourselves, like, why is it such an issue? I think, if Nicki Minaj, if you watch this, I want you to remove yourself from this issue and take a step back and think about it on a larger scale. And if you yourself have admitted that there are actually, she said, I can think of a couple celebrities right now who've profited from Black culture, then you yourself admit that there is a problem and that it is a problem. And it happens on it happens so often that I think that someone like Nicki Minaj, who's a superstar, is very removed from how often it actually happens in everyday life, because it doesn't impact her and she doesn't see it. You know what I'm saying? She's not losing out on opportunities because she's Nicki Minaj, but for the everyday regular Joe Schmo type of person, it is more pervasive. So that is all I really wanted to say. I know this wasn't really an organized video, but I just wanted to come on here and give my commentary, give my feedback, because I felt like this deserved like a larger conversation and a larger breakdown. And so I think that's where I'm going to leave off today's video. I would love to know what y'all think about Blackfishing. I think at the beginning of this video, I may have called it blackfacing. So if I did, I'm going to insert a correction in the beginning of the video. But I would love to know y'all's thoughts on Blackfishing. And, again, it's not really about Nicki. It's not about the Jessie and the group. I don't know anything about that. But I'm speaking more to this larger issue of Blackfishing, where people are capitalizing off of and gaining clout off of the Black aesthetic. So if you're interested in learning more and seeing which video I'm talking about, maybe I can link it. I don't know. Can you link TikTok videos? Perhaps. I don't know the ins and outs of TikTok. I'm still like a TikTok newbie. And I'm not the hugest fan of TikTok, as some of y'all may know. I wrote an article, and I'm going to insert it here, where I talked about the bias that many Black creators are experiencing on TikTok. So I'm not on there too much, so I'm still learning the lay of the land. But check out my book, The Pink Elephant, where I talk about Blackfishing. And I left a very, very insightful article that was written for Teen Vogue about Blackfishing in the comment section below. But would love to hear your thoughts. And I think that's where I'm going to leave off this video. But I will check y'all out in the next video. Peace.